This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
This show is brought to you by Pet King Brands, the makers of Zymox and Oratine.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Now, I thought I wore a lot of collars in the pet world, but our special guest today has got me beat. Listeners, you are in for a real treat today. Now, I'm betting all your dogs right now, their ears just perked up at the mention of the word treat. Our special guest is on a lifelong mission to bring out the best in dogs and cats. And she does it in a very fun, engaging way. She has appeared on all the major TV networks. She's the go-to expert in the pet industry. And believe it or not, she once trained dogs belonging to the late great Vegas team of Siegfried and Roy. So please join me in giving pause and applause to the remarkable Geralynn Cada. Welcome to the show, Geralynn.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Arden, and thank you all for taking some time out to listen to some fun today, some dog fun and cat fun.
All right, and we have a lot to yap about, don't we, Geralynn?
We do. I always bark. I bark every day.
But we got to take this commercial break, so everybody just sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Hey, pet pals, Arden Moore here. Welcome to fall and winter. Now, this is a great time to take your dog on a hike in the woods, maybe go on a camping trip or a road trip. But just like us, changes in weather can actually impact the skin and ears of our dogs and cats. So if you got a pet who's scratching his ears, chewing on his coat, or rolling in mud, help is here. Zymox. For inflamed and itchy paws and coats, you can use the Zymox topical spray. For itchy and irritated ear issues, you can use Zymox enzymatic ear solution. And for baths, you can treat your dog or cat to Zymox shampoo and conditioners. Now, Zymox has been your pet's safe and trusted health ally for 20 plus years. So you can pick up Zymox at your veterinary clinic, most pet specialty stores, and online. To learn more, just visit Zymox.com. That's ZYMOX. Do it for your pet.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now, back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guest today is a major pet advocate. I love her titles. She's the Chief Meowie Officer at Smarter Paw, the makers of, are you ready for it? Meowie-Wana. And now, new, it's called Doggy-Wana. Ooh, cool. She's also the winner of the 2018 Pet Age Magazine's Pet Icon Award. She's a certified dog trainer, an AKC judge, and I love this. She teams up with this amazing dog trainer, sweet, sweet guy named Larry Kay, as co-host of a Facebook show called Dog Hugs, and he's been a guest on our show. So I just think I'm going to have to take a cat nap after reading about all that you do. And I think you have an MBA. And what are you going for now?
I'm finishing my MBA this semester. So I have 1 semester left of my MBA, and I have a biochemistry degree as well as a design degree.
Of course you do.
And I also have a couple of other little certifications. So it's really fun. I just believe education is life, regardless of what arena it's in. It's all the skills are transferable. So I kind of feel like you're learning your entire lifespan, and so are your pets.
I agree with that totally. So you, to me, embody what it means to wake up every day and do something with merit. And that's what you do. So let's get started. I love the fact that you grew up on a farm in Nebraska. I think you live right now in Kansas City or Overland Park in Kansas.
Yeah, actually, thank you guys. And also thank you for having me today.
Oh.
This is fantastic. First of all, and foremost, I was born outside of Chicago, and the only child born on her due date. My parents didn't believe the due date, so I was actually born in a hospital right outside of Chicago because my parents were out traveling. Yes.
Where in Chicago? Because I was born in.
I was actually born in Sterling, Illinois, which was they were on their way to Rock Falls or from Rock Falls. I don't remember the scenario, but I know that I was born in this little tiny town. But my parents then immediately moved back to Nebraska, which is where they're both from.
Okay, all right.
A little farm outside of Nebraska, outside of Omaha. So I grew up there, and they were a animal-loving family. My grandfather had an Angus cattle ranch. My mom loved to raise different breeds of dogs. There were 3 in particular she loved. So we were breeders, and we showed.
Nice. So this love of science, where did this come from?
So I went to Europe when I was really young. I was 15 or 16. I spent a summer in Europe. And I remember one of the girls on my tour said to me, everything is chemistry and everything is science. And I went, you're right. So I had read something that Einstein wrote that mentioned that the mix of arts and science was genius. And I thought, well, if I want to be a dog trainer, I'm just going to listen to what Einstein said. I'm going to go study art and science. Nice. Not at the same time, although I did.
Well, so we're going to fast track to now. Folks, you've seen her at Global pre-COVID, and she is involved with a company that makes organic catnip called, I love this, Meowiwana. Now I'm thinking of Cheech and Chong, but it's far from that, right? So
hilarious.
Clarify. We're not getting our cats stoned. Well, we are. But
well, actually, no. What happens is biochemically in your cats, in this whole process, your cat rubs its face and eats a little catnip. And when it rubs on its face on the catnip, that there are oils in the catnip, this organic compound called nepidolactone. Yes, the cheesy mouse. And when they rub this on their face, they have receptors in their cheeks, the roof of their mouth, and it sends a message to their brain after it attaches to a receptor that tells them to get all giddy. So it gets the kitty giddy. But when the kitty actually eats catnip, the catnip receptors in their stomach say, take a nap. So it's a great way to get your cats and your dogs, but your dogs don't get giddy. Your dogs don't have the face receptors. Your dogs love the smell, so they're attracted to the smell of catnip, obviously, because they steal your cat toys if you have cats.
Yes, my big dog Bujo, who's 90 pounds of love, likes the smallest catnip-filled treat belonging to one of my cats. And it's hilarious because she's very gentle with it. But let's talk about the dog. So Doggywana, this is a big new deal. It just got unveiled this month, January.
Yes, it actually just launched on in PetSmart in stores, and they were supposed to launch January 5th, but the teams were so excited, they begged, and they were able to launch December 27th or something like that, which was fantastic. And we've sold out at quite a few stores, but the secret is that catnip helps relax dogs. So if your dog, maybe it's allergic to hemp, there are many dogs that can't have CBD. What's your option? Your option is amino acids or something natural like catnip. So I went to the Smarter Paw team and said, I have this great idea to have catnip be available for dogs, and let's trademark it Doggy Nip. It's the same thing. And
wow,
it's similar.
See, think about this. You love pets and you have a chemistry and biology. I mean, this is like you were made to be this. To do
definitely.
This.
I definitely honed my path on purpose, and many people made fun of me along the way, which I recommend that if anybody makes fun of you or bullies you along the way, you consider the source. Because when they told me that what I was doing was just not a straight line, I went, nobody's life is a straight line. So it's a journey. So allow me to enjoy my journey. And I've definitely had fun plowing a trail. I like
that. Well, let's talk about catnip, which is more gets the yayas, as you said, for cats, but it's actually kind of a relaxing reaction if we make a catnip tea. True?
Yes, and it's true for humans as well. So the Egyptians were the ones that discovered this way back in the day when their cats were walking through their catnip and their mint, because cat is a mint relative. It's
Right.
called cat mint, actually. They nicknamed it catnip for a different reason. So funny, truth be told, the Egyptians were drinking the tea to relax themselves and then realized that it actually got their kitty giddy and then their kitty relaxed. So thank goodness to their research to bring us this gift. And if you go into grocery stores today, you'll find a catnip tea. In fact, I'm begging my partners to allow me, since we purchase our catnip from a human facility where
Right.
the farms we grow on grow herbs and spices that you use in your kitchen. We literally can make a catnip tea from this, and I do it home, and I add different things to it to change the flavor, but it depends on what's going on, like which catnip I bring home. We have a couple of different types. And also it relaxes me as a human, a human animal. So if I can give that to my border collie, that makes my day.
So let's think about that. If it makes the kitties giddy and then relaxed, and you've got cats that are going cray-cray in the middle of the night, couldn't we sip some tea and then give them some of your meowiwana, and then we might get a better night's sleep?
Absolutely. And you can actually give your kitties some of that tea because they will drink that water that has
Wow.
nepidolactone in it, and it gets to their tummy receptors very easily. So yes,
Huh.
it can be either way, but definitely helps my cats and my dogs. Well, I don't have cats now, but I've had cats in the past. So, but it definitely helps my dogs now.
I guess we got to thank King Tut.
Yes. Oh, yes.
King Tut.
I wish I could do the head bob, but I can't
I thought
do the
I
head bob.
I wanted a marijuana. I think we should call Steve Martin and say, dude, you gotta come up with another song.
I
King
wonder if
Tut.
he has cats.
I don't know.
I bet he has cats and dogs. I'm gonna reach out to him
All
on
right.
social
And
media
when
and
you
see
get
what he has
him,
going on.
would you let you both come back on our show?
Oh, for sure. And we'll have
then-
him on Dog Hugs too. I think that
Yeah.
would be fun to just spread him around.
Look, we're already planning our next plan. Hey, let's talk about dog hugs, because during COVID, we're all so tired of put your phone off mute. You don't have your video on. So talk about how you and Larry Kay and Robbie Hess decided we're going to do something while we're staying in place to bring out the paw power.
I wish I would have been a founder of Meowana. Our founder's fantastic. I'm fortunately a founder of Doggywana. I wish I would have been a founder of Dog Hugs. I think Larry and Robbie
You're kind of a co-host or helper out, right?
I'm a co-host. So I think that one day when COVID hit, Larry said, we're going to have to take this show to video. And they asked me to be a guest right away. So within the first week, I was a guest on the show. And we
Okay.
had such high numbers that Larry said, will you co-host with me? And I said, absolutely. So we've recorded we've had over 150 live shows.
Wow.
We have had some amazing guests, all the way from many people that I've trained to people I have never met before. Like an example, we had Steve Shrippa from The Sopranos on speaking about his
Really?
dachshund. Yes. I mean, we've had some amazing guests. We've had you, an amazing guest. We've had so many wonderful people with great messages to share about how to cope in COVID, especially with your pets, and how to train.
Let's talk some numbers. It's not 2 people tuning in, is it?
No, it's, we have a reach of about 55,000 impressions per show.
That's impressive.
And it's brought on some great sponsors. Like we have some amazing sponsors, especially lined up for 2021, who are right now wondering why we're not back to live yet. But we're going to be going back to live here shortly. We're actually going to start in February. We both had so many projects going on that were important to be a part of Dog Hugs. So we wanted to spend the month of January wrapping up those projects. So when we jump in Feb 1 for Dog Hugs again with our sponsor, we have a couple of sponsors, as well as Dental Health Month is really important to us.
Right. I'm laughing because your beautiful Border Collie Australian Shepherd mix, right? Senna?
This one's just a Border Collie. The
Okay.
other one, Casey, who's downstairs, she's the Border Collie Mini Aussie mix.
Okay. So tell us, everybody, because this is radio and it sounds like you're breathing heavily, and I know you're
That
not
was him.
panting. That's what dogs do that men step in, pants. So tell us about your surprise co-guest that's taking over the airways right now.
He's so fantastic. So my Bichon Frise of 16 years passed away in October of 2019. And I posted on social media that he was getting ready to pass away because I wanted to prepare all of the people who knew him, especially in Las Vegas and Los Angeles and across the world on social, that just loved him. And he was such a gem. So he passed away. And as he was passing away, one of my really great dog training friends who had befriended a dog trainer from Brazil who was friends with me on social media, who was a very famous border collie that is all over social media and TV commercials and has 150,000 followers. Actually, he contacted me and said, would you love to have one of my dog's puppies to replace Chipper? And you could start fresh. You would have a new border collie puppy. You'll have so much fun. And I said, absolutely. And so I allowed my husband to choose which color because there was a brown and a black. There were 3 black and a brown in this tiny litter. So he chose the brown for me. He's like, I just think you need the brown one. So, and he was the only boy. And that was perfect for me because Chipper was a perfect Bichon boy. And so Senna's been incredible. He's so smart. He knows over 60 tricks. He's trained some dogs already. He's a little over a year. I take that back. He was a year in October. So he's 18 months. Did I say that right? No, I didn't. I can't do math today.
It's okay. You can do biochemistry.
He's about 16 months. Yeah, no, I'm doing so much math right now. I should be able to whip that one out quickly. He's about 16 months now. He's just perfect. I'm thrilled. So thank you to the gentleman who gave him to me. I think that I couldn't have a more perfect pet for myself right now to get me over the hump of losing Chipper, who helped to train Siegfried and Roy's dogs. I mean, Chipper was a stud.
Well, we're going to get into that. You just teased us all. Perfect timing. We're going to take a commercial break. And when we get back, she's trained the dogs of the late, great Siegfried and Roy. They could do tigers. They can't do dogs. We're going to find out why. The other thing about this is, by the way, we have a special offer, guys. As you know, this show is brought to you by Pet King Brands, the makers of Zymox and Oratine. So during February, which is Pet Dental Health Month, you're going to get 10% off the Oratine brushless oral care for cats and dogs if you just put in the code ARDEN10 at Zymox.com. That's ZYMOX.com. Arden10 at Zymox.com. So we'll be right back. So you know the drill. Sit and stay.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. Oh Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
Pause up, everybody. Arden Moore here from the Oh Behave Show. Got a good book for your ears. We're talking about the Macmillan audiobook called When Harry Met Minnie. It's a memoir from Martha Teichner. Yep, that same CBS Sunday Morning News correspondent. It's about how her dog, Minnie, met Harry, another bull terrier. But it's more than that. It's more than a boy dog meets girl dog fairy tale. Because what transpires is a deep and meaningful friendship between two women with complicated lives and a mutual love of bull terriers. Please order When Harry Met Minnie today, wherever audiobooks are sold.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is Lily Tomlin, and I invite you to listen to the Oh Behave Show with Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We're talking with Geralynn Cada. After the show, guys, we need you to go to Meowijuana, which is MEOWIJUANA.com, and Doggijuana, DOGGIJUANA.com. Find out a little bit more about that. But it is time for a drum roll. I know Siegfried just recently passed away. And of course, Roy, he passed away
About 3 years ago.
So let's dial back to Vegas, baby. What year is this? Let's go, Elvis. I got my Elvis on.
It's crazy. It was about 2009. I got a phone call from my veterinarian who said, I'm referring you to train some dogs for some people, and here's our phone number. Would you please call them and set up a meeting? And I said, sure, but he didn't tell me who they were.
You're just going to Vegas, just driving around like, okay.
Yeah, And so I went to this house, and it was a lady, and I trained her dog first. And what I didn't know was Siegfried and Roy had given her that dog. So she was there. She was Roy's physical therapist.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
I started training for her first, and she kept bringing out this amazing white tiger all the time. And she said, okay, so our next appointment is at Siegfried and Roy's house. And I was like, what?
Wait a minute. She kept bringing out a white tiger, a real tiger?
A toy, like a big stuffed animal, but it was big. It was bigger than any stuffed animal I'd ever seen. And she goes, here's a hint. The next house we're going to is Siegfried and Roy's. I checked you out first to make sure you were a great trainer, and you're fantastic. My dog is so good. And Siegfried and Roy gave me this dog. So surprise, you're now becoming Siegfried and Roy's dog trainer. So wow. It was amazing.
Tell me what it was like. Please tell me you weren't driving up in a beat up Pinto into their pearly gates or something. How was it coming in?
I had a Cadillac Escalade, and I pulled in, I pimped out, that's what I drove. I pulled in, and I pulled up to their gate, and I went into their first house, because they had 3 houses in Las Vegas. And the first house I trained at was massive, and they had llamas, and they had pygmy goats, and they had all these amazing animals, peacocks everywhere. Nice. And I would go in and I would train. And as I trained their dogs, I went, something's wrong with one of their pets. And so the lady who was kind of in charge of me said, what's wrong? And I said, I think she's pregnant. And she was. And Siegfried and Roy were getting ready to go to Germany. And the pet was about to have these puppies within a short amount of time.
Wow.
So we whelped a litter for them. And
which was
crazy. Yes. It was insane.
Do you remember how many puppies?
There were 6 puppies. It was a mix of a Shih Tzu and a Havanese.
And who was the boyfriend?
And well, the Havanese was the boyfriend, and the Shih Tzu Havanese mix was the mom.
And a little romance at the Siegfried and Roy Palace.
Well, oh yeah, all the time. It was a love fest all the time at their homes. And I just had so much fun. And I actually was able to train the dogs in the areas where they used to house the tigers. And they also took me back and showed me how they train the tigers, which was really neat.
Well, you have quite credentials in dog training. You are a member of the APDT, Association of Professional Dog Trainers, IAABC, EIEIO. But tell me, there's some similar training techniques, aren't there?
Oh, definitely. I believe that every animal has a unique style of learning, although many can be grouped together. It's just like people, just like children. How do you motivate them to learn? And not just with food, but with the praise and the way that you handle them. So every pet that I trained for Siegfried and Roy, which I trained about 7 dogs, not including the puppies. So 7 adult dogs were all unique styles that helped those pets to bring the best out in those pets based off of their talents, their unique talents and their unique motivation.
So you got to see the llamas and the tigers?
I did. They were so amazing. And for my birthday, they gave me a private tour of the secret gardens. And it was just ridiculous what they did for me.
Well, I know they recently passed away, but what you think their legacy is?
You know, I think it's just going to be an awareness and a respect for all animals. It's not, and it's not just tigers and animals that are becoming extinct. It's also a respect for human animals. We have to learn to respect each other, because that's where it all comes from you. And if you aren't being respectful, then how can you expect other people or yourself to be respectful to others and other people to be respectful to you? So just respecting our basic needs and our heart is for love. It's, sure pumps blood around, but it's the electricity in our body that really pumps love around.
I feel the good vibrations, Geralynn. I do, from you.
Good. And they taught me a lot. I'm really grateful for both of them. And I'm so sorry for their loss. And I really wish I could have stayed and worked more with them. At the time, but it was a tough situation. We'll talk more about that later.
You're in Kansas City, or you're in Overland Park, I guess.
Close enough.
Yeah.
They're right next to, you can't tell when you pass into one from the other.
So what would you say if you were going to be a tour guide and COVID was lifted? What's the big deal, the draw of Overland Park? Why should I go?
I'll actually say the draw of the whole metropolitan area. We are rooted in some of the most amazing memorials. One of those is our World War II museum, which is outstanding. And if you understand the wars that created this country, you'll understand and maybe have a little more respect for everything about it. We also have the Jazz Museum. We have the Negro Baseball Hall of Fame. And we also have a basketball museum that's amazing down at Sprint Center. We're known for Sprint headquarters. Sprint was created here. We're also known for Cerner. Cerner was created here. And the list is endless. Walt Disney went to college here. I actually got my design degree where Walt Disney went to school. So there's so much here. And the restaurants are outrageous.
Well, the food is really good. Yeah, the food is
good. Although we're not the weather of maybe Los Angeles that I'm used to, or Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I do like sweaters and boots once in a while. So I don't mind, getting all cued up to go out in the snow and scrape ice off my car.
All right. So what are your plans for 2021? Let's talk about for Doggywana, Meowiwana. I know you're working on finishing your MBA. What's life hold for you in 2021?
I think 2021 will continue to be an incredibly blessed time in my career. Doggywana launched in PetSmart. It will launch in Petco this August.
Take that, Shark Tank.
We're also launching in the company of dogs, and we're also launching internationally with Meowiwana. We just opened Singapore, Korea. We also opened Japan, and we are getting ready to open Mexico. And so that's incredible. And we're also using the Mexico edition to maybe work on growing catnip in Mexico with my MBA program for Meowiwana. So that's pretty incredible. We have some amazing innovation coming up you're going to love. And with Dog Hugs, we have some amazing guests coming on and also some coming back who we enjoy very much. And also Larry and I are working on a book. You're going to love our book project, as well as I have another book that's being written right now. I have someone assisting me with some amazing, inspirational, and most of all, anti-anxiety for humans, because we do all this work to try to help our pets, but you can't help your pet if your human is going in circles chasing its tail. So how do you bring a balance to both? So we have a lot going on and we're really grateful. Also my jewelry, I don't know if you know this, but I've had a jewelry line since 2004. No. And in the company of dogs I'll send you some. In the company of dogs is going to start carrying my jewelry again because they just love it and miss it. And I waited till the metal markets calmed down before I started producing it again. But it's a positive trigger to help you know that when you leave your pet, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, they do smell our emotions quite well, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What would be something you could say to all dog and cat parents right now as we got through this time and the role that our cats and dogs and other companion animals are playing for us?
There are a couple of things, but if I were to narrow it down to one, I would say your pets are there to help you love life. So paying attention to that, pausing and breathing and actually putting away all the bills and laundry and the meals that need to be cooked and just pausing for a minute and actually having some time with your pet where you have fun and you engage in a way that's great for both of you and make that a priority a couple of times a day. I would say that would be something that could help ease your anxiety because you step out of all those anxiety causing issues and you bring yourself to a place of peace with your pet.
All right. Hey, we're speaking with Geralynn Cada. She's phenomenal. We just scratched the surface. So she's going to come back with her book that's a blockbuster and her co-author with Larry K. We're going to have you guys back on. I wish you the best with each page because each page has a powerful message. I also want everybody to go to Meowiwana and Doggywana.com. And please check out Dog Hugs on Facebook. Tell me any other place I'm supposed to direct people to, Geralynn.
Actually, any place. Larry's in my social media. I also have a GC Pet Style of Life because I try to help people understand that living your life is great. But if you have a pet, you need a pet style of life. There are a couple of additional things you have to do in your life that create a great style or a great rhythm for you and your pets, especially in times like this where stuff's a little crazy and things are a little nutty out there.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, everybody, I've been honored to have my good friend Geralynn Cada on the show. I also want to give a shout out to my producer, Mark Winter, the executive producer of Pet Life Radio, the world's largest pet radio network. Please check out my site, ardenmoore.com, and Pet First Aid for you. And for all you cool cats out there, come join us every Wednesday night, 6 to 7 Eastern Time for the Meowie Hour presented by Cat Fancier Association, where I use my bartending skills to the best. At this time, I want to just say thank you, everybody. Be safe, and get your cat some meowie-wana and your dog some doggy-wana, and sip a little cat mint tea. All right? It's good for all of us. So until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. Oh Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.